Salutations.
Salutations.
We're back with another episode of the Perspectives podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Littyyy Bro Flacko. This is our co-host over here, Holden Stephan Roy. Holden, say hi.
Hi, Holden. That's what we're supposed to.
You know what I noticed the other day when you was going live? You say Stefan,
Stefan. Yeah.
Stefan,
Yeah, because there's
and
no.
I call you Stefan.
Man,
I use it
Stefan
like
Marbury.
I use it like Urkel.
So
You know
it's
what I
just one of
mean?
those things
It's
where, like,
Stefan and shit.
when everybody gets it wrong all the time, you just stop. You just give up. You're like, let the world take the name and do what they will with it.
Yeah, nah, I'm not gonna ever stop saying it though. I thought about trying to say it the way that you say it, and look, I still did it my way. Anyway, we're back with another episode of the Perspectives podcast. We are here with
Soze.
fucking hold on, nah, fam. I'm doing my thing.
Okay.
What are you doing? You going straight to his name and shit. He doesn't get no introduction and
He gets
shit.
an
He doesn't get no like. I'm trying to think about all the accolades that I could say for the man. You know what I mean? We've got the co-founder of the EO Beats Challenge show. We've got a veteran EO Dub family member. We've got Brooklyn super producer, vet, legend to the New York City indie scene, the homie Soze.
Thank you. Also, a fucking
Or
life,
like he told us,
and a point that
Soulful
period.
Soze. Oh, also word facts. Fuck your life member.
Point that period. Brooklyn South, all that good shit.
You know what I'm saying?
Personally, I
All
don't
that
know
good
what
shit.
any of that good shit means yet, so we're gonna have this conversation. So
You
that
gonna
means
find out
something
what
to
that
me.
good
Because
shit
I looked at
means.
your
You
Instagram,
about
I'm like, I don't know what any of this means.
You're about to find out what it means, son. So, Soze, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm gonna go through the usual intro, right? The way that the show came about, which you already know, right? You're on the same network. There's like for people who don't know, right? Like I said, he's one of the creators and founders and co-hosts of the EO Beats Challenge show, and that show also runs on this very same network that we are presently
Facts.
running on, which is the EOWTV, EO Zoom, as I always keep referring to it, and it always capitalizes in text now. Like my phone has gotten so used to me texting EO Zoom that like when I text it, it's in all caps and shit. So I look like I'm screaming at the EO Zoom part. EO Zoom. Anyway, we got together. You know this story, right? But we're gonna go through it anyway. We got together because me and Jess was putting together the Littyyy Bros album with the homie Paulie, and we put out the album for a review. The engineer, Merker Miyagi, Merker Studios. I be forgetting. Like I've gotten so like into saying the story that I forget to shout out the homie every time. And so like he's like a New Yorker. You know, he pulls like the same ISO Boom. I forgot about ISO Boom. My fault.
And Frio Dub. I'm pretty much part of every show, yo. Because I do the beats with Frio Dub.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
When I went
Like
to the
you're
whole
like
open mic,
at
he
this
was
point
there.
you're a
Always
producer
there.
for the network. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
for sure. There's a lot of other producers that definitely contribute to the EOB challenge.
Absolutely, but you're also one of them.
Yo, all I can say
Um,
is when I went on Instagram and I saw the name in the reels for the Big Boy contest, it said Soze.
In the big boy
The
contest.
Diesel Instagram reel contest.
Oh, the Diesel. Word. Facts.
I was like, that all says Soze a lot. Soze was there
I'm
a whole
like,
bunch.
big boy from the West Coast.
Nah,
the
man,
West
like
Coast
the
radio DJ. You
the
talking about
quality
Big
of
Boy?
$5,000 giant MC challenge thing that went down that would arguably be like pretty
Yeah, they
like
used a lot of my beats that night as far as like the grab bag and whatever other rounds the MCs didn't had to submit their own beats or whatever. Like they used a lot of my shit, which I'm grateful for. And then I have the new insignia of the when they did the dun dun oh the dun dun oh because we couldn't use that, so I had to make
Word.
it over. So I did it. I
You
did it
made a
kind
new.
of a new.
You made a new. Dun-dun-dun. Oh,
Yeah, I'll show you
yo,
after.
wait a minute. We're skipping ahead
We
here.
are.
We
All right, so let's run that back. So the
Right.
homie Merker mixed the
So
stuff.
mix the stuff. He puts it out on social media, right? Like you're familiar with it. You know what time it is. So you know that you don't promote everybody that you do work for, because it's like I don't want to promote everybody. I'm doing this engineering thing because I need it for money. You know what I'm saying? Not for like I like everybody's music that I engineer. You know what I'm saying? But he liked our shit. He shared our shit. That got the attention of Holden. Holden was like, "Hey, what's this shit?" He checked it out. Holden does music reviews. Holden fucking was like, "Yo," he did a music review to the Littyyy Bros, and then I was like, "Yo, we should do an interview together." And he was like, "Funny thing you mentioned that. I was gonna say that we should do that." We did an interview, and bro, it felt like therapy. And I was like, "This shit is the best shit ever. I gotta put all the homies onto it." And a year later, here we the fuck are, still fucking doing interviews, still
with amazing people.
Doing with amazing everybody that we do an interview with. I feel like, yo, not only do I get to know my friends better, but like on top of that, like I get to know the person better, and like it's just
like,
good to. It's great hearing people's life stories.
That's it. Like it's
like I love hearing people's life stories.
I've learned so much about how to operate at a higher level in this whole entertainment game because of this show. Like the number of people we've talked to from the vast different lanes, from all the different layers, the number of perspectives we've gathered, like it's impossible to not level up. And so that's why it's a pleasure to have you here to add to that. I mean, we just heard your beats. You're in that whole game of knowledge.
We just did a new thing that we've never done with anybody before with you. You know what I mean? Like usually we do the just me and Holden listen to the artist's music like for an hour beforehand before the show, and then we come on EO Zoom. But for the first time ever, we had the guest with us playing like his own shit. That was super dope. I'm like, I wish I could get all the homies to participate that much.
Backstories of the beats.
Yo, it was really great.
You know what I'm saying?
Vibes of them for sure.
So vibes, right? Let's move on to the show, right?
Yes.
Holden has his questions that he's gonna open up with, right? But I'd like you to let the people know who you are, what's your name, what are your aliases, where are you from, and then after you're done telling people where you from, born and raised, tell them where your parents from.
All right, so basically I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Gravesend. Not the Gravesend from Coney Island, but Gravesend is like in the middle of Coney Island and Brighton and shit. So I'm from Gravesend, Brooklyn, Gravesend, Brooklyn, New York. And yeah, my parents are from here too. They've always been here, but my grandparents are from Italy. And yeah, pretty much that's it. And I go by Soulful Soze. My other alias is Willie Wallow, the nicest Southern rapper from the North. It's another alias I go by, but
yo, we'll get into that because we're gonna go through your story, man. So it'll come up, and you gonna tell us should it come up.
That's just more of a funny
nicest rapper from the South that's in the North. Yo. That name is Wildfire, bro.
Willie Wallow, you feel me? Follow.
Word. So Holden.
All right, so let's
open it up.
Let's do this. This starts off, as you probably have heard before, but with my girlfriend, and she's washing the dishes that one time, and she plays that Black Eyed Peas song. I got a feeling. Ooh. She's vibing, she's dancing, she's doing her thing. And I look at her and I have this moment to myself and I wonder, when the fuck did this song become chores music? Because, like, at the end of the day, this song was not always in this role in our lives 10 years ago, whatever. Run it back. This is middle of the night. Everybody drunk, dancing around, having the highlight of the night kind of level song. Even if you were like a kid, it was still celebrations and shit. And then you run it up a decade, and now everybody be washing dishes to this fucking song. They be working out. It's in that realm of stuff you do when you're doing the boring monotonous and you wish you was having the highlight moments again. And I thought that was wild because it's like, is this relationship between like the evolution of music, right, and the journeys that everything goes on. And then it got me thinking about how, like, as artists, when we talk about our stories and the interviews and everything, it kind of ends up in this place where everybody starts it almost like as an adolescent, right? Like when they form their identity, you know, I started writing over here or making beats over here. I don't know which came first. Or like, you know, I started fucking with this band at this age. And it's always like, you know, somewhere in the 10, 12 range. And that's like pretty deep into the story. It's an important part, but it's still pretty deep into the story. Like, I know for a fact that when you popped out the hospital, wherever you was at in New York, there was probably some music playing. You was absorbing some sound waves right in that moment. You might not remember it. That's fine. But
I
like,
wish I had one of those stream decks so that I could hit like the doctor smacking the baby on the ass and the fucking wham wham sound effect. What? I'll be killing the sound effects right now if I had one of them shit.
well, we can figure that out. They exist on
Well, we have
computers.
the new restream that we'll talk about after. I'll tell you guys what
Fire.
we're gonna be doing.
But basically, yeah. So it got me thinking about being young, right? Like I can remember being like 5 up in the apartment in Montreal. My dad's got gray boxes all over the preamp, the amp, the radio, the tape decks, the whatever else he had, wires going out to speakers all around the room for that beautiful surround sound effect. And like he'd be bumping his Led Zeppelin tapes and, you know, different kinds of things like that. Or at the nighttime, it would be like the club music live from the clubs be pumping through it. My mom's, though, it was different. It was more like the musicals and the love songs and the discos and this whole other vibe. And all of this stuff coalesced with the pop music and the Disney movies and all these things to create like this whole soundscape that existed really before I had a lot of control over what I was allowed to listen to in my life. So with that, I was hoping you could bring us back to being the youngest soulful souls you can remember being and tell us what it sounded like to be you growing up in New York. And keep in mind that most of us do not know what you mean when you go, nah, I mean, and we do not know the locale. And arguably, I haven't even talked to that many people from Brooklyn's and stuff. So, like, we don't know a lot, is what I'm saying.
All right, so basically, music played a big part of my life, even though I do it. You know what I'm saying? Even before music, I was a baller. I used to play sports at a young age, and I was very good, so I'd be on these traveling teams. But aside from that, music was huge back in my life when I was, ever since I could remember, and I would listen to the soundtrack to my childhood was a lot of Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind, and Fire, The Who, a lot of versatility, and I'd be remiss to not say that I lived with my uncle that plays the piano and teaches piano, plays for a church.
Oh wow, that's
So
dope.
he been playing around me all his life, and he's very versatile in his music too. He played for a Mexican band. He plays for Creole church now. He played a lot of jazz, and he writes his own like classical music pieces. He done the song for Brooklyn College. He's written the song for Brooklyn College. So like I have a lot of. He helps me out with a lot of music now too as well. So like the crazy thing is I never taken lessons from him because I was so involved with sports at the time, and I was really good at sports at the time. So that's what my main focus was. He would try to sit me down a lot, and I'd be like, "Let me go back to the basketball courts or whatever, the baseball field," and you know what I mean. And that's one thing I regret because where I am now, as I could have used a lot of that. Even though I do know music theory, know how to play the piano a slight bit, but not as much as I could have been where I'm at right now. I could have been fucking
Right.
totally.
That's a big time knowledge nugget, though. I mean, it's also one of those things where you couldn't even know at 5 if you're really going to end up with sports or music or whatever age you are. Like, you can't really know that. But still, it's like when you do have an expert in your family that's like trying to offer you some wisdom, you know, to take that, like, well, at least one time sit down and see what it is type thing.
Yeah, I think it was just. I mean, I always enjoyed music. I don't know, it was just the repetitiveness of it. But now I'm used to repetitiveness because a producer deals with a lot of loops. So we sitting here dealing with the same shit going on and on and on and on until we perfect it as we please. You know what I'm saying? So it's like. I miss but it's never too late, you know what I mean? I still sit down with him, do shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm always learning. Music, you never stop learning, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you'll learn till the day you pass.
Mm.
And you're never wrong when you make music too, you know? So that's the way I feel. As long as you feel good,
Facts.
it feels good to you, you know what I'm saying? Somebody
There's
would feel.
that's something that I'm big on is like, yo, like there's no bad music technically speaking. Like it's just bad to somebody, to whoever's ears, even if it's a lot of people, even if a lot of people don't like somebody or something. It's like, yeah, but there's still gonna be one person, somebody out here that's gonna like it, and to them, it's not bad music. So technically speaking, it's not bad music. It's just you don't like it. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at music. Period. You know what I mean?
They
Like
had
I
some
don't
class.
like it.
They had some. My uncle has some classical shit. He used to. Me and my uncle have a great like brother relationship. He used to babysit me and like fuck. We used to fuck around with people, and he used to fucking like lock me in the basement and turn on this crazy like this just person that going like and it gradually gets louder and people listen to that. It's on CD. Like he bought it. Like what? Who would listen to this? Like so you know like music is
Yeah,
subjective
exactly,
and it's so weird,
Oh
exactly.
my
but
gosh,
at the
those like
same time.
stoner comedy kind of album things where like they would just have that kind of shit going on.
No, it wasn't even. It's
It
literally.
wasn't even that. He said
It's
literally
like
like the
art.
things
It's like
"Oh Dirty Bastard" did on the record, where he, uh,
yeah, but he and it just gradually yeah, and that's the whole album. It's and it's like art, music, and art at the same time supposedly. And people like that shit. So, hey man, teach his own. It's music is
yeah,
subjective.
That's
exactly.
like that Yoko Ono
Music is super
stuff.
subjective. Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
Or like any, there's a whole bunch of shit. Music is a wide array of things, and so
I just
But
like music
to
that
get back,
invokes emotion. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
that
yeah.
that
I mean,
pull.
that's not surprising, right? With like your uncle playing the piano, right? Him being passionate about music. Then you got like your family playing fucking Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind and Fire, The Who, and yeah, like
All types of different shit.
yeah, that's you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, and then you know, like to this day, like when I have dinner with my fam and shit, they're playing shit, and I'm like, "What's that? What's that?" And they know my mom is so good with like times, like yo, that's from 1971. That's that and such and such. So you know, I'm like, oh,
Okay.
I gotta go sample that now. Like you know what I'm saying? Like she's a big part of like when I hear some dope shit, I'm like, oh yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, that's wild to think that your family can be so involved in your beat making process just by like you be hanging out and be like, Psh, yo, mom put me on to some obscure shit that ain't nobody gonna be knowing about.
Yeah, definitely.
That's
Definitely, they know their one hit. She knows her one hit wonders. She's fucking amazing at Jeopardy. Like so, like it's like, you know what I'm saying?
that's
So
dope.
yeah, that's my road dog. Yeah, my fam is dope. My pops too. Yeah, like they know their music.